Hey, morning, everybody. Welcome back to Hex Token channel. Woohoo! Good to see everybody. Your host, Superman, of course. We're going to get into it. We've got lots to talk about, no doubt. We've got to talk about Maximus new products. Man, oh man, that was so cool. We listened to the Twitter Spaces yesterday on this channel, following Dipcatcher's coverage, live coverage a couple hours earlier. And of course, we're going to talk about that today. Some of the potential for that, of course, for Hex and of course for the investors themselves. And also going to get into the market, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's see who's in the chat. Welcome, by the way, Hex Token channel. Woohoo! Rock on, as we say. It's now in the house. Our foreman, moderator, Team 6. Good to see you. It's now. And of course, Alan Hackett as well. Let's see if with the my audio is up and running. Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. And of course, let's go to live chat on there as well. I wasn't first, so I'm now leaving to cry in the corner, rethink my life goals. That's pretty deep, Alan. That's pretty deep. Great to have you in the chat there. Donatello's in the house there. What's up, Superman? What's up? Good to see you, Donatello, as well. Sandy Beach in the house with the beaches. Nice. Dave Down Under, in RH interview, he said the highest stakes would be coming out in 4, maybe 5 months. Could it be correlated with the launch? Well, that's one of our mechanisms is December. You've got also... we're talking about December and, of course, maybe November possibly, but leading into the Hex third birthday as well. So we've got 2 key events then as well. So cool. We've also got ETH 2.0. So I'm not sure how that's playing into the launch of Pulsechain with the upgrade there. So that's pretty interesting by itself. So, yeah, we'll see. Charity Dunning in the house there. Hey, Charity, good to see you. I was going to say that he did also, Richard did say that the highest of stakes, he was getting a preview in the next couple of weeks, right? So that's in August, probably the first half of August, somewhere in there, of the highest of stakes. It was interesting. I think he said he had a first right of refusal about it too. So it was interesting. Although his first look at it earlier, he was really thought it was fantastic. So that was cool. Charity Dunning. Hey, Charity, good to see the strong arms. Check my pulse. What's up, Xkins? Woo, Zoot man. We're loving it. And who else is in the chat there? We've got Sandy Beach. Hello, Hex Token and everybody. Hey, good to see you, Sandy Beach. Brennan says, let's get this never work again money, says Brennan. I like how you're thinking there. Strong arm there. Jim at Crypto would be pretty happy with you for that. What else we got? Sandy, I miss all the good stuff, says Sandy Beach. Yeah. Donatello in there with the Sandy Beach as well. Nice. I thought my director said Pulsechain launch was the ending of the movie. That's actually could happen. Actually, that could happen. That might not be too far from the truth. Hey, Superman, Kato Natural in the house. Good to see you. And Royale Omelade. Wow, that's pretty cool. Woohoo! I like the name. Fat Sammy as well. A big shout out to Fat Sammy, and it's now doing great work in the Discord, helping people on board into the Pulsechain and Hex ecosystem. Big shout out to them. Some nice little chart stuff too from Fat Sammy in the charting group. Now we hit. Let's talk about it now. I was going to talk about it later, but we actually hit 550 members. Look at that, 550 members in Discord. Well done, everybody. And of course, if you like good community, good information, it's a great place to be. So a big shout out. And our latest number of 550, Ryan in the house. So big shout out. And of course, we had Ace 5555, a well-known channel member there as well. So big shout out to Ace 555 in the chat. So very, very cool. Onwards to 600, I guess. Is that the way it works? Oh, by the way, also on YouTube, we hit 4,900 subscribers. Was it this morning, I think, or last night? 4,900 subscribers. So thank you very much for subscribing. We're on our way to 5,000, the big 5,000. That's pretty cool in YouTube land. If you're doing YouTube, that's kind of cool. Hitting 1,000 is really important. Obviously, you get monetized, but hitting 5,000, that's pretty cool. And I guess another 5,000 after that. We'll see how we get on. But anyway, 5,000 is the big target. And I think we're not too far away from that at the moment. How far is that? So have a quick look. Yeah, we did pretty good overnight. So a big shout out to that. We got need 94 more subscribers to get to 5,000. So 94. Let's see how we get on in the next couple of days and a week ahead on that towards the big 5,000. We have to have some sort of party, aren't we, for that 5,000 And then we're going to have another party after that for the 5555, which Ballet Brands just hit himself on his channel. So big shout out to BB. Woohoo! All right, so some good news there with the growth numbers. Also hit over 1,600 members on Twitter. I had been probably quite slow on the social media, so I'm trying to ramp that up now as well. So working a lot hard there, hit 1,600 members. Thanks to all the Hex Token channel members for your support, helping to make this happen. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get into a couple more comments, and then we're going to get into the updates for the news, as it were. Donatello, we need a price banner. We do. I think you're right. Hey, Donatello, I have been thinking about that myself. So I think we're on the same page. Me cussa, you cussa on that one. We're looking at the same page there. Brennan says, this is my Hex Flex suit, man. Nice one, Brennan. And what else there? Brozology in the house. Hey, everybody. Good to see you, Brozology. Of course, we're looking forward to Brozology's artworks coming out soon. Of course, he gave us a sneak peek the other day. If you had worked it out, let us know in the chat. And Mr. Profit in the house. What's up, people? Hey, good to see Mr. Profit. Welcome. All right, let's get into it. Let's get rocking and rolling as well into the markets. I don't know if this is the page that I was on, actually. Let's switch back here. I think somehow I've migrated to another page on here. So we'll try and get back to the right page. This is the one I wanted, the stock market today update. Now, reason why we're zooming back out into the stock market is because it's a good indication of how the market's going, and Bitcoin and that are pretty highly correlated at the moment, increasingly so to the stock market. Part of that is to do with the fact that there is a lot of the players, institutional players, have started moving into crypto, of course, helping to push the price up. But also, when the market's going bearish, they start to do risk-off strategies, just like they're doing in stock market. So we're getting that correlation in the play. Now, I still think institutional adoption into crypto is still maybe 20% in, so maybe 2-3 years out of, say, 10 years. So it's still early days for that. But in the meantime, a lot of the players that actually play around also plan doing the risk-off. So if there's interest rate rises, that risk gets risk off in the market. If they talk about recession, risk off. And of course, crypto is still largely, not completely, but largely a speculative asset, just like stock markets. And of course, it is varying, right? We have stable coins. They obviously are less speculative, but we also have a lot of DeFi utility inside crypto now that we didn't used to have. So we are increasingly getting more having intrinsic value into crypto, but we still have a lot of speculation, and of course we still have margin trading as well, and so margin trading can move things around. Anyway, so let's get into it. We got the Dow Jones was down 192 points, down 0.6% overnight, down to 30,981. We really want to stay over that 30,000. We did dip past it a little while ago, but we really do want to stay over the 30,000 mark there. Dow Jones Industrials, top 30 industrial firms in the United States. The S&P 500 down 35 points, down to 3,818, just under 1% decrease today. And NASDAQ, with a lot of the tech companies in it, down 107 points to 11,264. And that's down just under 1% too. The VIX index, which is typically the volatility index there, indicating bearish times, as it were, that is up 1%, 1 point, and then of course to 27. And that's up 4.2%. Dollar index is also would typically go in hand. Dollar gets strengthened against its comparative basket of other countries, and that is also up a little bit there too on the dollar index. The dollar gets stronger. Now that can happen due to interest rate parities. It can happen due to fundamental underlying real data, but typically it's going to be interest rate parities, or it will be a risk-off phenomena happening with the market. So that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at the commodities, see where they're at. Oil and Brent down 94.99. I'm still expecting these oil to go up to maybe around $150, $150 coming up soon. We do see, I think it was the Russia Nord Stream I think it was gas pipeline to Germany being shut down. The other thing is if the Russians permafrost pipes get shut down, they'll be shut down for good. So let's see what happens up there. That is a pretty big concern in terms of supply, gas and oil happening up there. So keep a lookout for that. If that does play out, you're definitely looking at $150 gas, oil, if that does happen with the permafrost supply. The other thing, of course, because basically it just all gets frozen, right? Once they stop the flow, it basically freezes up. So there we got natural gas there as well. Gold at 17.23. Soybeans, we're definitely going to keep watching food supply as well, not just energy, but food. Always, we're going to keep following that too. And of course, we are expecting the tremors to start happening in the real estate market with the interest rate rises. Also, obviously, prices still still rearing their ugly head as well. And we're likely already in a technical recession, but of course, it's going to get confirmed soon enough. Now, let's have a look at the commentary here. We've got the Dow Jones fell on Tuesday as energy stocks wobbled on falling oil prices and financials ran out of steam ahead of the inflation report due Wednesday. Now, we do have a lot of earnings reports coming in this week and next week, I believe. So we're going to be looking out for that. Energy stocks fell 2% after the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, largely Middle East, basically flagged fresh demand concerns, forecasting oil demand to rise at a slower pace in 2023. Obviously, recession typically plays into that, and obviously a lot of the geopolitical issues and other things at the moment. The downbeat forecast added to concerns that oil demand will remain in the crosshairs as global economic recession fears mount. Financials gave up gains even as banks stocks climbed on bets that second quarter results from the major Wall Street banks due this week may not be as bad as feared. So there we are, bank earnings coming up. Growing worries about a recession that had soured investor sentiment on banks recently, but second quarter results should be solid, strong, as should the outlook, as it's too early for banks to build meaningful loss reserves for a potential US recession. So JP Morgan's kicks off the quarterly earnings seasons in earnest on Thursday. So expect that to start to play in, followed by Citigroup, and Wells Fargo. The gains for bank stocks come against a backdrop of falling treasury yields and a drag on bank stocks, though many point to the inflation data due tomorrow. Forecast at 8.8% there. Previous was 8.6. That was the actual there. So look out for that. A bit more tremors. If you're looking to buy, you may want to wait another day. You want to see what that happens to that data and how the market reacts potentially. I don't particularly think it's going to look particularly good. Due to tomorrow, that could cement bets on the Federal Reserve hike rates at 75 basis points again this month. And of course, they're meeting 26th, 27th of this month. We expect still strong 0.5% MOM core CPI inflation in June, month on month, setting up another 75 basis point hikes at the July FOMC meeting. Inflation expectations data bear monitoring. So definitely wait for that. Like I said, I said this a while ago, right? I said we might have a be okay till mid-July. And of course, we're actually, starting to wane even slightly before mid-July with the price over the last 24 hours. That's turned out to be fairly accurate at the stage. It kind of gets a little predictable when the interest rate cycles come in, especially if they're moving hard and fast, hawkish as we say at the beginning. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it and just think that crypto is going to be isolated. It's not isolated, we expect still strong. I've read that, but and big tech. Meanwhile, Microsoft was the biggest loser, falling 4% after the tech giant announced jobs cuts that would affect less than 1% of the company. Job cuts come just as tech research firm Gartner reported that PC shipments fell 13% in the third quarter, stoking doubts about the strength of demand for Microsoft Windows operating system segment. Yeah, I would definitely think they'd be under a bit of pressure there. Twitter, meanwhile, rose more than 4% to claw back some of its recent losses after Elon Musk's allegation that had breached the terms of a $44 million deal were invalid and wrong. And after hours trading, Twitter tacked on gains after the social media company sued Musk in an attempt to force the billionaire to stick to his terms. Well, good luck with that. We'll see how that goes. On the earnings front, PepsiCo gave up gains to end the day lower despite its full-year guidance after quarterly results topped Wall Street estimates. We actually might get quite a few upsides. It'll be interesting to see what percentage of firms report have better than expected reporting. So that's probably something to look out for. Boeing, meanwhile, reported it's delivered 51 planes in June, topping the 50 milestone For the first time since March 2019, its shares rose 7%. So that's pretty good, getting good production out there for the airlines. In other news, Peloton Interactive said it would outsource its income manufacturing to Taiwan to cut costs and simplify its supply chain structure at a time when the fitness equipment maker is facing waning demand. And this is what we're seeing actually out of China. We're seeing a lot of industrial capacity, this is a good thing, moving out into other Asian countries around it. So Taiwan being one of them, obviously with the issue of Taiwan. So that's pretty good. All right, so cool. That is pretty much on the stock market. So let's zoom back in to the crypto markets. And I'm going to pull that up. So we got BTC down here at 19,380. That was kind of the target once it broke 20, was 19,300. So it seems to have hit that fairly well at the moment. So it looks like we've kind of hit that over the last 24 hours is the 24-hour chart. So we've pretty much hit the target there for the BTC. And let's see where it goes from here. All right, we've got ETH there at 1042 and BNB at 221. That's pretty much it. And stable coins looking stable. Yeah, we like strong stable coins. Pretty important to have strong stable coins for DeFi and crypto. So no surprises there. Let's jump into the Hex. Before we do that, let's get into some of the comments in the chat there. Just realized I wasn't subscribed, says Wookie. No way, Wookie. That's unbelievable. Hey, we've got a new subscriber. Wookie has subscribed. That's pretty cool. Let's see how we're getting on. I think we're up one more. Here we are, up to 4,908. So we need 92. That's 2 more subscribers. Thanks so much for subscribing. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. And D-Hex says, woohoo, let's get going. Hexicans, absolutely D-Hex. Coconut as well. Woohoo. Yeah, definitely. And don't forget to like the video as well. That definitely helps with the algorithms. Z's in house. Woohoo. G'day, Hex Token and family. Hey, good to see you, Z. And g'day to you as well. J Judge as well. What's up? Hey, good to see you, J Judge. Xbuller as well. Hello, guys. Good to see you, Xbuller. And Sandra, you legend. Sandra was on a live stream the other day, so big shout out to Sandra. Hey, family. Good to see you with the big hearts. Nice one. Instagram model love, as we always say on this channel. I don't know why we say that, but we're just silly. We're silly sometimes. That's pretty much it. Let's jump in from, so now we've zoomed down from the stock market into the crypto market, and we're going down into the Hex ecosystem charts. And let's get it. And then we're going to come up to Maximus. We've got a couple of cool things to look at there. And then we're going to get to Hex Daily Stats later on. So stay tuned. It's almost midday here in New Zealand, down under. It is 13th of July, Wednesday. Can you believe it? Almost midday. So pretty cool. In the future, crypto from the future, Hex crypto from the future. All right, so here is Hex at the moment. Unfortunately, we've got 6 red candles, but that's just the way it goes. But they haven't been that big. But they're definitely on it. If you add them all up, they've definitely gone down from back on the 8th here, down from 4 cents down to 3.4. So not a huge range, but nevertheless down. And of course, we've got the 50% Bollinger Band at 3.8. We've got the EMA at just under 3.7. So they're pretty close together at the moment. And of course, let's have a look at the DMI indicator. So buyers, just still waning a bit there. Not a lot of enthusiasm, and sellers just ticking along sideways pretty much on the sideways. And of course, that's because they're sideways. We've got that slight decrease in the actual price action up in the top chart. RSI, they're just waning down a bit as obviously the sellers are in control. And that's pretty much it at this stage. So just have to wait. Now, this is kind of ironic, right? So we had the Maximus news out yesterday, and we watched a bit of that about their new products that they're launching. And we're going to talk about that soon. But typically in the stock market or something like that, that would be bullish for the price. Like you'd see the Maximus price and the Hex price all moving up if that sort of news was understood. I do think that maybe it hasn't spread far enough. Maybe people don't really understand it yet. And of course, maybe that'll take a little while for people to analyze it, think about it, hear about it, and move up. But that's pretty substantial news. And I'm going to give you an indication of that later on, how big that really is with the Maximus projects. And of course, not only do we have Maximus doing incredible innovation, we have Alex with Acosa doing really great stuff. And of course, we have Power City Flex coming up as well. And who knows what other projects will follow their lead in the space, because it is proving, I think, very lucrative. Not only lucrative for the investors, but lucrative for fantastic for Hex. So we're going to look at that soon. So I've got a chart coming up. We're going to have a look at that. I just put it together, so we're going to check that out soon. Right, let's look at the whale bot over the last 24 hours and see what we've got happening amongst the large holders. So 23 hours, we had 6.8 million Hex sold for $250,000. We covered that yesterday, so we won't go into that again. We had some Hex penalties coming in. Oh, look at that big Hex penalty there, 3.7 million. And wow, finished early there, 895 days, 2,000 days to stake. Wow. And they had 1.8 million. Maybe they needed the money, who knows. And then, of course, finally, 6 million stake for 10 days. Another one of these short stakers here at the moment. So cool. That's pretty much it. Let's see if there's anyone made any comment about that. No, that was pretty much it. So cool. Not much really happened in the last 24 hours. So that is that. Let's have a look at our quad charts. We've got obviously Hex just down there in the last couple of hours, down to 3.44. We've got Hedron at 705. So obviously got rejected for the second time. Let's full screen that. Got rejected for the second time at 1,000 and down it's come. So it's still got a higher low though. Still got higher lows in place. So is it just going to zigzag its way up, back up over to 1,000? Remember, ICOSA is still expected to launch, as far as I know, this month, July, maybe the end of July. And if it doesn't launch, then obviously it will flow into probably August. But looks pretty good. Now, Alex did have a live stream, I think it was yesterday. I haven't managed, a Twitter space. I haven't managed to listen to that, so I didn't, if he's got any insights in there, I haven't listened to those. So if you did watch that Twitter space with Alex, let me know if there was anything of interest in that. So that's cool. We'll keep watching that. Now, obviously, Hedron has a huge supply. It also has quite good functionality with the HSI stakes, which you have Hex. And of course, you can have wrap stakes and tradable stakes there on OpenSea and stuff. But the ICOSA products are designed to obviously increase even HSI staking, which benefits Hex, takes Hex off the market, but also they're going to have a deflation as well with burning for Hedron. So for Hedron in particular, deflation and burning there, and of course staking as well. So there's lots of cool stuff bullish for that. Which has helped fuel that price rise as well. But there's still a lot of supply in the market. But that is definitely a major step in the right direction, of course, as it plays out. Then we've got Maximus, of course, at 6.9 cents at the moment. Now, this thing here should have fired. Normally, in the markets, it might have fired. But, of course, like I said, it'll probably take a little while to flush through. And maybe when we get the products out, maybe that's when the market could respond to that bullishness. And we're going to talk about that in more depth. Let's have a look at the premium at the moment. 99% premium. Is that crazy or what? Let's full screen this thing, man. This thing is just too good. Look at that premium. Look at that. Look at that chart. That chart is beautiful. Now, if you'd obviously kept your Hex and you hadn't put it into the Maxi contract, you would be down at 3.44 cents now, rather than just under 7 cents. So there we are. Pretty neat. Now, obviously, they're coming out with all the tokens. We're going to talk about that in a second. And, of course, this is looking bullish. Now, they were over 2, of course, 202 overnight, so that's the high for the day. But this thing's going to be unrelenting as well. So, cool. And, of course, they had the surprise for Maxi yesterday during that call. Yeah, like I say, obviously, congratulate Gold Key and Dipcatcher. And I think, we've got a lot of good devs around, but so far at the moment, I think Maxi is really dominating the innovation. Don't get me wrong, that is innovating very strongly. But in terms of the second layer Hex, eating up the Hex, they're definitely leading the way there. And of course, I sort of liken, just like, what was I going to say? I'll have to come back to it. Just forgot that. I had the name in my head and I forgot it. So yeah, I've got it now. Kyle the Dev, how he influenced the share rate in the underlying Hex contract. It's kind of like Dipcatcher's kind of squeezing out all the goodness out of the Hex contract itself. So I think that's pretty bullish, and adding a lot of other game theory on there with their own products there. So cool. We'll talk about that shortly. So that's looking really, really good. Super excited for that, and we're actually possibly that could be earlier. So I've been saying 2-3 months. That could even be earlier. If I understood correctly what was happening on Twitter Space, this could be, possibly August. So looks reasonable. All right, so let's get out here with the Pulse Dodge coin. Obviously, we've been following this pretty closely. Counted the accountant's plane's been flying around. So just pull back a little bit here, $2.91. You're gonna remember this launched at $1. Launched at $1. Look back here, launched at $1 20th of April. It is counting down here. Still got higher lows in it. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Given this climate, it's looking pretty good. And so it did get rejected at $3.40. And it's been there twice, so it did get rejected there, but it's still got all these high lows and pretty much a good reasonable chance of breaking out, and increasingly so because of the fact that it's got oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's counting down the actual launch phase for the airdrop. If you had a Hex stake on the 20th of April, you qualify, and we're currently at 5,168,000 plus of the OA and the BA address, so we're probably sitting at about 5.6 million, just over 5.6 million Pulse Dodge if we include the OA and BA. Now they get minted at the end of the launch phase, which I think is the 28th of July. I think. Yeah. So let's have a quickly look at the number of claims so far. 23,000 claims, so that's about 28% of all claimants, I think, around about that ballpark. And the holders at the moment, the large whales, are they still intact? 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, they're still intact. And of course, this one here is also a whale in the weight token. They've already claimed, from the looks of it. At least they've claimed some of their wallets. I don't know how many wallets they've got, but they're also number 4 or something in the weight token. So that's pretty good. Let's have a look at the countdown of days. Like I say, I don't think there could be 12 million. I think at the end of the day, there's probably going to be under 6 million. There'll probably be a bit of a late rush to claim. 16 days to go, man. We're almost down to 2 weeks. We're getting down to 2 weeks almost. Let's say we're at just under 2.5 at the moment. Fireworks, expecting fireworks. We'll see what happens. All right, cool. Let's jump out of there. And of course, let's jump back into, we're going to go through the weight token at the moment. Let's have a look at the weight token. The weight token, obviously, it's got a small pull. So the price has really fallen away here in the last 6 or 7 hours. This is the hourly chart. We're up at 6.5 cents. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. Sorry. 64 hundredth of a cent. How about that? That's pretty much it. Basically, just over a cent there, just over 6/10 of a cent. How about that? That's a pretty way to put it. And we're currently at what are we at? Half a cent at the moment. So it was holding in this pattern here. It's just broken down through there. So who knows where that will end up at the moment on that one. And that's pretty much it. And obviously, people can claim that. The longer you wait, the more weight tokens you get. But hey, this is where it is at this stage. Let's actually quickly check to see how much liquidity it's got. We have to go to our airdrops list first to check that out. So we've got $9,200 in the V3 ETH pair, $18,000 in the USDC V3 pair, and $7,700 in the V2 pair. So what's that? 30, what's that? 30, say 30, 37, 36,000, something like that. Total liquidity across those pairs. That's pretty much it. Let's jump back to the BNB this time. So that was the airdrops and the Hex ecosystem. So we're going to jump over to BNB quickly. And no doubt, remember that the BNB is also down 2.6%, down to $220. So we've got the BNB memes. We've got Pulse Dodge, the original, down at just above 0.3 of a penny. Struggling there big time. You can see that. We've got P33 also down at 12.5 cents, also pretty much struggling there. You can see that too. And we've got, whoa, internet money keeps surprising me, internet money. So we were struggling we had higher lows in the year at 573. We're struggling here, but we had a bit of action today. And of course went to 768, currently at 673. So that's done a bit of action there, but still miles away from where it is. This is on the daily chart, by the way. This is on the daily chart, so you can see that it's still way down, up from early days. But of course, it's already had its 90% burn. Right, they did the 90% burn. Hasn't done too much since then. So we'll keep watching it though. Obviously, this is not related to the IMD token, their secondary token, which is going to be the native token of the Internet Money Wallet, which I'm fairly bullish on. Obviously, it's disclosure. I have sacrificed for that, but that doesn't really going to make any difference on what they're doing. Doing pretty well there. Large development team and doing really well. And of course, if you we interviewed KG a couple of days ago on this channel, so looking good. Now, obviously, the Richard Hart wallet's coming as well. And of course, we've already got Staker at version 2. So there's going to be at least three native wallets to Pulsechain. In addition to all the traditional ones that will be able to access Pulsechain, like MetaMask, for example. But their tokenomics doesn't have what Internet Money Wallet has, and possibly what Heart Wallet will have. If the Heart Wallet with Sacrifice would have, and that is a profit sharing from the swapping, which is pretty cool, and airdrops and onboarding drops there too. So I think that's pretty juicy if you think about it. All right, so that's pretty much the market wrap up. Let's get into comments before we get into Maximus. That's where we're heading next. So let's see who else in the house. Sandra says, so you are about a full day ahead of me. Wow, yeah, it's pretty far ahead here, Sandra. We are about here. Hex Token is in the future, says Sandy Beach. That's true. We are. Lies Beneath in the house. Hello, how are you today? Hey, good, Lies Beneath. Very good. And here's the ultimate strategy, folks. We are a Maxi channel for Richard Hart's golden-plated tokens. Hello, all. Hex, PLS, and PLSX for the win. Good to see you, Lies Beneath. That is awesome. Mexican Hexkin in the house there. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hey, good to see you, Mexican Hexkin. 4.6 million in penalties. Hey, Hex family, says Rango. Hey, Rango's front-running the Hex Daily stats there. Nice to see Rango in the house. And we got the rockets from Machiavelli. Good to see you at Machiavelli. Mount Gox, 1st of August, 173 BTC. Yeah, I don't know if it's playing out quite like that, DHEX, because remember, people had to respond how they would like their BTC given back to them. So, but definitely there'll be some sort of impact, but it could be staged over a long period of time. So we definitely covered that on another video. But certainly important. Get Hex in the house there. Good morning, all. Hey, Get Hex. It certainly is another a challenge and hurdle for the Bitcoin recovery. Ahoy Kryptonian, says Crispy Bacon, another Hex Token channel member. And of course, Wiki says, my bad on the sub, was getting notified from Discord and clicking from there. But hey, you have a new sub now. Yeah, awesome, Wiki. Appreciate that. Big shout out. All right, so cool. How are we up to now? Yeah, we're up to 4,908 subscribers. 92 away from 5,000 subscribers. Is that kind of cool? Has a kind of cool ring to it. In any case, so cool. All right, let's get into it. Those were the markets. And now we're into pretty much the second half of the live. Well, actually, we're doing 3 parts of the live show. We're in the second part now. So we're trying to talk about Maxi. So if you haven't been up to date with Maxi, obviously Maxi has done it super well. And of course, it's a win-win. It's a win-win for the investors of Maxi, and it's a win-win for all the Hex stakers if you're holding Hex, because it's eating up the Hex supply. And we've got a chart. I'm going to show you a chart. It's a workable chart. I only just put it together, so you have to excuse any of the quick rush on it. But I think it gives a fairly good indication of what's happening. So we've got breaking news 21 hours ago. Maximus Dow is launching not one, so not just the base token, but 4 perpetual Hex staking pools. In other words, they stake for a certain period, and then they just roll over again and again. Of course, they can be adjusted depending on people, whether there's a redemption phase and things like that. But other than that, they just keep rolling. So there's the base token that's going to be launching. But it's possibly around August, as my guess at this stage. Probably so base token 1 year. So Dipcatcher was talking about finishing this by the end of this month if he works hard and doesn't get distracted. And also they still have to, I think that included audits and testing, but hey, we'll find out. A trio token, 3 years, so every 3 years, this will roll over every 3 years. The lucky staking of Hex, so you put Hex in and you get lucky out, right? And the lucky is the ownership token. That's pretty much it. And base, you put Hex in, you get base token out. That's the ownership token. So you don't lose your Hex. Your Hex just gets staked, and your base token owns that Hex. That's pretty much it. The same true from Trio. You put Hex in and you get the Trio token out. You don't lose your Hex. It just gets staked, and the Trio is the ownership of that stake. And just like we see Maxi at the moment. Lucky token, of course, 7 year. So it's going to stake for 7 year period. You put your Hex in. It's going to be staked for 7 years. You get Lucky token. That's your ownership token of that Hex stake for 7 years. You can sell it early if you want. There's the wonderful thing. You got optionality in these products. So you got optionality but you also get the upside there. And then it's Decky token. Decky, obviously 10 years, and of course that gets staked for 10 years. You put Hex in, you get Decky out. And does that sound funny when I say it? I don't know, it sounds funny to me. But anyway, so you get that out, and that's the way you do. So we're going to have, pretty much 5 staking tokens. We're going to have Maxi, which is a 15.2 year stake. We're going to have Base, a 1 year, Trio, 3 years, Lucky, 7, Decky, 10. So people are after this kind of thing. They've got it, and it's pretty cool. We've got cool little symbols as well. Now, I was going to say about this is that there's also the team token. Now, the team token is different from all these other 5 staking tokens. The team token is like a treasury Dow token, and it's going to scrape just some of the benefit out of some of these projects in terms of the bigger pays better bonus, 50% of that. And I'm not sure if it's all the hedron from these, but the hedron from the Maxi, the base token was. So I gather it's also true for this. Let me confirm that, but I think that's kind of it. If you can confirm in the chat, let me know. But that's pretty much it. So cool. And here's all the cool symbols. Looking good. Those are the 4 new staking tokens. Very, very exciting. Very, very cool. So that is what came out. So nice. And I think we have a little bit of extension there. To accelerate the expansion of the Maximus stake pool economy, it uses more options in building the Hex stake portfolios. This upcoming launch of Base will be accompanied by 3 additional perpetual revolving staking pools. So these are all going to eat up the Hex. So why would you go into these? Why would you go into these? Bigger pays better bonus. So you're getting a higher return than if you went staking Hex by yourself. And you still have the optionality to sell out of that position, which you wouldn't in your own Hex stake. So in your own Hex stake, you would have to live out the period of time. Otherwise, you would face the normal penalties that you do in Hex if you break them. So pretty much that. So pretty cool there. All of these stake pools will be deployed by the team contract at launch and will be fully complete and immutable with no admin keys. This is now 4 staking pools that will be trustlessly shared in the big payday bonus with team stakers. So it's cool. This is now 4 staking pools that will trustlessly share in the big payday bonus with team stakers. So nice. So yeah, it does apply. So that was pretty cool. Big announcement there. And of course, I'm going to try and illustrate how big that is. And you'll see what I mean. So here's the first indication of how big that is. So 20 hours later, the Maximus team posted this. The Base, Trio, Lucky, and Decky all max out the big payday bonus, where you get, if you do 150 million, you get 10% bonus in your effective Hex. Therefore, you get way more return on your actual Hex when it gets staked. Most people don't get access to, this sort of fullness of the big payday bonus, and you hardly ever notice it. Normally, you're just after longer pays better. To get the higher effective bonus, which is 200% if you do 10 years, 20% per year more shares. So when you swap your Hex, you get shares. So it's all about how many shares can you get, and you get more shares by getting that effective bonus, either longer pays better up to 200% or bigger pays better, 10%, 150 mil. So that's kind of how it works. That's an additional 600 million Hex locked up by the Maximus Dow. Now just think about that, 600 million Hex. If this all the big payday numbers get hit at 150 million for each of these 4 contracts, that's 600 million Hex. So just think about that. Is yesterday when we did the Hex daily stats, there was just under 200 million in the liquidity pools. Now we're talking about 600 million Hex locked up. So this is not for you pros out there of crypto, but I'm just talking about if you're new to crypto, just trying to get your head around this. It's pretty awesome. It's basically 3 times the amount of Hex in the liquidity pools that people are buying and selling on Uniswap. So it's a pretty big deal, and we believe it could be much more. Obviously, if they exceed all these targets, just like they did for the Maxi, they were after 150 million, they got 294.3 million Hex put in there. Mind blowing. That's a big amount of the circulating supply. You get rid of the circulating supply, you get scarcity, and if you get scarcity, what do? You get price up and to the right. All right, so it's the propensity for that is much higher, and it's pretty bullish. So not only that's over the long term, but in the short term, people have to buy the Hex to put in these products, and so that's bullish too. We also saw the influence of that during Maxi's mint phase, and of course that was about 14 days. I think it's going to be about 7 days, and of course you could see some interesting buy pressure. And of course this is potentially 4 times bigger. So what's it going to do to the Hex price? Not everybody's going to. So people have liquid Hex in their wallets. people may not have the Hex and they want to buy the Hex. So there's the people that are buying also going to give a short-term increase in the price as well, arguably. So we'll expect to see that. I think the probability that's very high. Obviously not investment advice, but that's kind of where we're at there. So it's a pretty big deal. So it's a big deal for Hex globally, reducing the circulating supply locally for the price. It's also a big deal for the base investors, the people that invest in base, Trio, Lucky, and Dicky, all getting a bigger base bid bonus. Obviously, there's Hedron in there too. And Hedron, I think all Hedron's going into the team token, but I have to confirm that. But that's what they're getting there at the stage. So pretty awesome. So they're going to get higher percentage yields per year by going into these stakes. Also the optionality of selling out. Also the optionality if they want to provide liquidity with those ownership tokens. So and I'm sure the team's got a few other surprises as well. So cool. You can see how the Maxi has performed over 102% premium over Hex 17 hours ago. So very exciting there. We're going to jump through some of this. So here is a visualization 6 hours ago of how Maximus Hex liquid stake pool cycles operate. So it's got a cool little visualization there. 1 year, 3 years, 7 years, and 10 years. So what the heck that's doing, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure it means something. Also, this is the 6 tokens. So you're going to have 6 tokens in the whole suite at the moment. And they've obviously got the Maxi, the base, the Trio, the Lucky, and the Dicky. And of course, the team one is the special one here. It's a one-off, a Dow token. So that's going to be fascinating to see that. Let's scroll up through some of this other here. If you're eager to learn more about new liquid staking pools, watch this white paper coming soon. So there's a cool video there. Perpetuals introducing an infinity yield to the Maximus Dow economy with the 4 new tokens. What else we got here? Oakswell says the Maxi ecosystem is facilitating a community Hex liquid ladder stake from 1 to 15 years. We're in this together. Join the winning team. So it's pretty cool. Some nice stuff happening there. So we're just going to scroll through stuff. Based on rough estimates with a 50% team stake rate and 150 million per pool during the first 15 years, team could earn up to 7 Hex per team stake. So that's trying to give you an idea of what the team is going to be worth. And that's not including the Hedron and Maxi earnings. So pretty cool there on the team. People trying to get their heads around the team there. What else we got going there? This may sound impressive. This 3 hours ago. This may sound impossible to most, but at current Hex price, this would be $21 million. The Gladiator pool, 294 million Hex. That's in the Maxi one there. Priced over 50 million during the Maxi mint phase. The Gladiators make that possible. So that is the Maximus stake at the moment, the Maxi stake. Looking pretty good to me. Let us get on to this. This is 5 hours ago from the professor. A Hex dream realized. It's as if Golki and Tatanonimi, I don't know what that is, the visionary creators of Maximus Dow were reading my mind. Hexicans have a connection. Hex staking pools has changed the game. Keep up the great work. I'm putting some buy pressure on Hex right now to prepare. This is kind of a cool chart here with Hex in the middle, and of course the Maximus product sitting around it. It's pretty neat. Cool. Richard Hart is the only person. Richard Hart has only spoken positively about 2 projects that were not his own. Maximus is one of them, and we're integrated to earn from the other. Nice, which is Hedron. So cool. So some nice stuff there from the Maximus team there. So cool. Let's have a quick look at what Dipcatch has been saying as well. So 7 hours ago, Maxi minters have only a few weeks to determine their answer to the $1 trillion question. We must ask ourselves, what will earn a more yield and have a higher underlying asset appreciation, team or Maxi? So it's got a cool little funky cartoon there. Which button are you going to press? So nice. Mint team and stake big payday bonus and Hedron from base. Trio, Lucky, and Dicky plus Maxi 369 rebate. So obviously paying out the Maxi 70% of the Maxi over 3, 6, and 9 years. All times Hex value appreciating plus team value appreciating now. So mint team and stake to share big payday bonus and Hedron from base, Trio, and Lucky. So yeah, the Hedron is going into the team token as well as 50% of the big payday bonus as well. Horde Maxi, the alternative of course is you don't go into team with your Maxi because the team is the only one that needs Maxi. All the other ones need Hex. Now if you're going to hoard Maxi and you're not going to go into the team token, and experience increased redemption rate from Maxi burn during team. So obviously 30% of the Maxi going into team is going to be burned. Launch and experience reduced circulating supply over 9 years until the last rebate Yeah, plus maximum Hex plus Hedron earnings possible times Hex price appreciation. So people got choices to make. Sweating there for the Maxi holders. So cool. What else there? Maxi breakout imminent. It's definitely looking imminent as we cover on this channel. Well, it's already broken out actually, but is it going to break out again? That's the question, and I think it's looking good for that as well. We're going to jump through some of that. I think we talked about this. So Dipcatcher said 9 hours ago regarding these products is base least risky for money. For money you rely on for short-term expenses while waiting for other pools. So if that's something that fits you, if you want short-term staking but you want optionality to sell out, then base is good for you. You get a higher percentage than you would staking by yourself, plus the optionality for trade. The base is likely to become the main liquidity pair as well because it's short-term. So obviously shorter stakes are more likely for liquidity pools and pairings as well. So that's cool. Trio, a medium, so pairings with the other tokens. Trio, medium time frame, a medium risk, medium yield, becomes liquid during each 4-year crypto cycle. And of course, lucky. So if you're trying to time yourself with a market cycle there, maybe the timing of when it comes out with the highest price. So it's not only the volume that you're after, the higher yield, but you're after trying to time when it comes to mature the best market price in Hex, for example, or crypto generally. Lucky, truly magical. And of course, that's the 7-year one there. And Dicky, high risk like Maxi, but less premium potential. So cool for that. So some nice little helpful comments there from Dipcatcher. Smooth says, impressive work, fellas, bringing the value. Hex Pulse Win says, I call that having character integrity. The others just talk about those things. Actions speak louder than words, my friend. I'm not sure. I think that's a compliment one there. Agreed. Hex liquidity is so low. If a whale buy comes in to participate in the new offerings of Maximus Dow, the prices of Hex and Maxi derivative products will skyrocket. So there's another benefit here. We're just talking about the retail book, but what happens if some whales start to enter into these products? Whatever that means, a large holder, that can really be pumpamental for Hex and Maxi in addition to the retail book. So maybe some big retail holders, for example. Cool. Here's lots of calculations here about what all those stakes will look like over time. Super bullish on Maxi says, Almighty Hexagon team, base trio, Dixie, luckily, please have all the money. Yeah, have all the money, that's right. So pretty cool. Let's jump through some of these. We're going to jump through some of these. I wonder if the team stakers will be able to buy back all the Maxi they minted with using the Hex and Hedron income. So obviously, you put your Maxi in, you get team token out, but you're going to earn this income, and maybe you'll be able to buy back some of your Maxi as well if you wanted to do that. 15 base stakes, 3 trio stakes, 2 lucky stakes, and 1 dicky stake. So pretty cool. Obviously, 15 base stakes there. That base is 1 year, so times that you're just revolving every year. That's a pretty big deal. So cool. Obviously, Maxi is over 15-year period, so that's why these numbers are equivalent. So trio is 3 years, so approximately that too. Lucky 714. So 39. Well, that one there would actually be 39. I would have thought that'd be five trios, so I'm not sure if that's correct there. 1 dicky, that's probably right on that one. All right, that's right. Base is a strong alternative to holding liquid Hex that grows by 12 to 14% per year instead of being diluted by 3.69%. Yep. So some pretty cool comments here. Hopefully some of these have given you a bit more insight about the Maximus there. Let's just jump through this. The first quadruple overlap of all perpetuals, so all these 4 products that are coming up, ending their Hex stake in a single team term, will be in 210 years. So some pretty out there maths. This is good because we want teammates with at least 210 year time frames. Could be a wild big payday event, and that's pretty funny. All right, base trio lucky deck building by the lucky dip. Yeah. There will certainly be pricing on Maxi versus the other pools, but other than by the market, Maxi is not part of the base trio tokens, etc. What else we got there? I think we're coming up to the final one. More like a big payday. What's this? Team Maxi deck lucky trio base Icosa, Hedron, Hex, PLSD, Pulse and BDC. So someone's favorite ones there. It's a pretty awesome lineup of the Hex crypto ecosystem. Now, some people have asked about the mystery box. The mystery box is and will always be a mystery. Don't ask me what's going to happen with it. Instead, just ask yourself what you would do if you controlled a bad of Maxi and team. Would you squander it? Would you provide liquidity? Would you hire people? Would you give it away? So that's a bit teaser there. So nice there. And that's pretty much it. So hope you enjoy those updates there. That's pretty powerful. And let's have a quick look at some of the implications there. Now, you can use Hex Calc, obviously give yourself some updates about how long you think it is. So if we got 150 million, I've got that in the calculator there. And of course, you can just change the days to reflect the time period of the different stakes coming out, like base, etc., trio. You can just change the time frame. You'll be able to see the difference in APY yield that you'll be getting. Now, this is an indicator, of course, based on the assumptions that are on the Hex Calc, but it does give you that the idea of a bigger pays better bonus. Let me just update that. So obviously, bigger pays better, 150 million. If people if it gets that good on the trio token, you're upwards of 18% or so. So it's pretty big. Obviously, you got Hedron on top of that. So you're really getting look at the bigger pays better bonus. So it's pretty cool. So you can use Hex Calc to help you calculate that. Now we're going to get to the main event. Here. For many of you that have decided to stay. Did I leave it on this? I did too, on the big comment. I try to avoid that. Hexbella says, this channel truly has more info than all the other channels combined. Covers everything Hex and Pulse related. Great work, mate. I appreciate that, Hexbella. That is the main point of this channel. We try to, there are other channels do other stuff. They have different opinions, different perspectives, different experience levels, different topics that they cover. Some are entertainment based, some are information based. So there's a bit of a mix around as well. Dipcatcher is on fire, says Brendan. He is, man. He is. Superman is awesome. Would be lost without his ongoing updates. Hey, again, Hex, appreciate that. Is Dissy not Dicky? Yeah, I don't know. I keep saying Dicky. Yeah, that's terrible. Hex is going to pump so easy with all the supply in these low stake projects. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, well, we're about to talk about that now, Brennan. For those who have managed to hang around during all those cool updates from Maximus, we're about to look at what that might mean as well. You've got to mention that you will nearly pay no gas fees for in-stake these new projects. Brennan, that is a really good observation because there's only one stake, so you won't have to pay. It's going to be shared. That's true. Or any Maximus project to the exact. Yeah, well said, Brennan. Well said. Easy in the house there. Woo-hoo-hoo. Exile says KSBTV channel has 5 ladies live now, including a Hex nurse wife on Hex. Just nice one, Hex Huddle. We should count how many days Hex Token has been streaming for straight. Be it's as many as Hexo as before, maybe. Yeah, well, what I was going to say was we calculated that the other day, Hex Huddle. We talked about that the other day. He's on a 5-day stream this time. Yeah, but I don't know why he's going to delete this channel at the end. I don't know why he would do that. Why don't you just leave them up and for prosperity? If not, people, he still probably gets views, a lot of legacy views on there. It's great to see him streaming now. But when he stops, Hex Token will keep streaming. Yeah, that's true. Can't see any reason why would he stop streaming. Can you cash out those tokens in a time? Dick, lucky you can. That's the optionality charity, is that you can trade out of those ownership tokens. You can trade out of them. So yeah, subject to liquidity in the market, of course. Sup guys, the Pulse player in the house, Matt and Bali as well. Hello all, good to see you, Matt. What did I miss? Says Pulse player. What did I miss? Well, you're up to the main event. We're going to get into our my quick chart that I put together. Late to the show, couldn't sleep last night. Hey Matt, maybe a few Bintang beers might help, Matt. A few Bintang beers. I'm just kidding there. Any use on the weight token, or just as it is? The longer you wait, the more you get, Matt. The more you get. We did cover that quite a bit yesterday in yesterday's live stream, but we'll quickly cover that later on if we've got time. Good to see Matt in the house though. All right, so let's get to it. Boom. All right. What the heck is this? What the heck is this, you say? This is a waterfall chart. And of course, what we've got over here is these are rough numbers. I'm going to firm these numbers up, but they're a fairly good indicative guide. Obviously, we'll talk about the pros and cons of each different thing here. But at the beginning, we've got here start May 2021. Now, this is the Hex audit from Gunther the accountant. Now, I do have the Hex audit for have the end results for May 2022. But I've decided to do it this way instead. So we've got, at least for the time being, we've got 25.2 billion in circulating supply. So this is for the users. in May 2021. So the users. We then had Pulse, and from recall, Pulse was about 3 billion sacrificed. Then we had Pulse X at about 2.2 billion sacrificed. And then we have Generals. So Generals just made up a lot of different stuff there. And then we've got, so this is like a bucket of general stuff that's in there. Then we've got Maximus team. So Maximus team there. So, retail growth and stuff like that in general. There's lots of other stuff that's not completely clear, but that kind of thing. Then we got Maximus. Okay, so this is the circulating supply decreasing over time. This is what they're looking at. Decreases over time. This is price supportive for Hex over time. Remember, Hex has been gatekept quite a bit too, but it's obviously done pretty well despite that. Maximus Maxi at negative 300, so I've just rounded up to 294.3 million there. So we've reduced the circulating supply by that amount. Maximus 4, so these are the 4 new products coming up that we've been talking about. Cool. We come back to Maximus. We're talking about, let me just find the diagram. Talking about I like that diagram, but I don't want the ones with the names on it. So these ones here, Base, Trio, Lucky, and Dicky. So that's this one here. So the 4 Maximus base there. So we're assuming 150 million each there. But of course, Maximus is bullish, and I'm bullish too. The Maximus upsides, we've got another 300 million going in there. Hey, it could even do better than that, but we're just going to go with that. So that's the 150 million bigger base better bonus. Plus we do better 0.3. So we're reducing the supply as we go. So all these things are reducing the circulating supply amongst the users. That's the public, you and I. So it excludes the origin account. There we go. So then we've also got the HSI stake there. Now I've got the, I think this is probably about right. I don't have the most accurate numbers for HSI. I could get those, and I probably will reconcile this and try and get these more accurate. But I've just put a guesstimate in there for this one at, what have I got here, 200 million, but it's probably way too high. But this is going to be including, have I got that on there? This is likely to include the impact of ICOSA as well. So I'll have to firm this number up. That's kind of inclusive number there. Then we've got Power City Flex. So obviously we're waiting for more details about that, but it's going to have some similarities to the 4 projects. So we'll see what happens there. But at the moment, I've just got 150 million in there for that. So I think that's fairly okay prediction. So then we've got other 2 second layer projects. So these are second layer projects eating up the Hex supply. And so I've assumed that we'll get another 3 of those maybe over the next year, for example. Because typically people see the success of these projects, and typically some devs will say, hey, we can do something around that. I've got an idea around that. I'll come in and make a product. So assuming that sort of thing. In any case, it could end up being more products from some of these existing teams that come in. So it doesn't really, it's agnostic about who's actually doing them, but I've got another 3 in. And we're assuming that they'll do 150 million bigger pays better bonus. So we're looking at 450 million in there, maybe over the next, 12 months, something like that. Let's say. The next one, of course, the Heart Wallet. Now, obviously, Richard said he's got his devs working on that. As far as I knew last time, he had maybe 2 devs. And, of course, he's got total 14 devs in total. So maybe 1 or 2 devs working on that. And, of course, we are expecting a Heart Wallet sacrifice. So they're probably doing a lot of the work there to set up that. And, of course, the Heart Wallet there, I've assumed 500 million Hex. So you can say that's too high, that's too low. But I've just assumed 500 million, just taking into account the Pulse and Pulse X there. And I feel that it'll probably be pretty bullish, obviously, Richard's finding and stuff like that. So we're reducing the circulating supply as we go with these numbers. Then we've got the Hex Investment Trust in there. So I've just got the Hex Investment Trust if they get their 10 million. And I've got, using around about the prices at the moment. So we'll just assume that they get 300 million purchased through the Hex Investment Trust. Then, of course, if they go public, I've just basically gone 4x that. If they go public, it's starting to get institutional. Now, this could be really huge, right? This could actually be really big over time, like really big. So it just depends on the marketing and all stuff like that they get when they get, say, listed on NASDAQ or something. But I got that at 1.2 billion there. So it really does depend on a lot of ifs there. But potential is definitely there for that, right? So that's cool. Then we've got the virality and HISA stakes towards the end of the year. And, of course, that could flow out over, say, particularly a 3 to 6 month period quite strongly. and maybe longer, maybe even a 12-month period. And of course, I got if that does manage to hit, tens of millions of people watch that sort of stuff, we could end up getting a huge retail virality there. I got 2.5 billion for that, so you may think that's too high or too low. That's what I got there at the moment. And then we've got other there. Other there, I can't remember what I put in here, but 300 million in there. Other, just a sort of a random one there. Let's get us down to about 11.2 billion. A billion hex that's in the user's hands here. And of course, this doesn't really talk about the liquidity in the pools, right? With liquidity in the pools, are different, but this is all demand. People, all demand factions buying hex. Many of these things will end up buying hex. So pushing up the pump mentals of hex local in a local period of time, but also over time as well. So obviously timing questions around timing of some of these things are less known, especially as we move out further out here. But some of the timings we kind of have an idea, the rally of highest of stakes, things like that. Obviously, this doesn't include the impact of Pulsechain and online Hex, Pulse online conference and any of those conferences, which always have a retail effect. But I guess you could just suit them up into some of these, into the other part. And of course, then we got to end up with about 11.2 billion. This could be higher or lower, right? So this kind of view, this kind of view is kind of let's say an 18-month view in this chart. Let's say that. So I think that's probably reasonable. Obviously, the Hex Investment Public Trust needs to get itself reach its 10 million target, get on, let's say by the end of the year. Get on by say December, maybe in the first quarter of the next year, and so that would fit into our 18-month purview, and that would get us down to about 11.2 billion, and maybe higher or lower, right? And that's just within say the next 18 months. So you can see how supply over time will be taken out of the market, and this bodes well for Hex. So it's kind of a cool illustrative chart. Just drew it up, so give or take. So you can see the source sheet here. That's all the source data there. So you can play around with the numbers, but pretty much it. Let me know in the chat if you want me to post the link to this, and you can play around with the numbers yourself and see the impact there. That is a shareable file. So cool. All right, so that's pretty cool. We've come up to Hex Daily Stats, but before we do that, let's get into the chart and see what else is going on. Into the chat, sorry, I should say. I'm waiting, says Sandy Beach. Yeah, a lot of people are waiting for the wait token. Refines in house. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Wait, am I late? You probably are, Bob. Probably are. Hope you brought more Hex on, everybody. Is it pumping? Is it pumping? I don't think it's pumping quite yet. Morning, says Warped Impulse. Hit the like, says Rango. Definitely hit the like. We are rocking it on. And let's see. If you haven't subscribed to the Hex Token channel, smash out the subscribe button. We've got 2 live streams a day, Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. Get into it, folks. And of course, we're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun. While we wait for Pulsechain, and we are waiting. Now, I did see a couple of people commenting about the Pulsechain latest update, and some people have, possibly some people overcommit themselves in sacrifices. Obviously, we expected it to be launching soon. So I do feel for the people that are in that situation. A lot of people in that situation. But once again, we just have to be patient and wait. There's nothing much we can do about that. Jonathan Navarro in the house there. Hodl. Yeah, absolutely. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Astri in the house and Tank Crypto. Good to see you all in the house. Nice. Welcome, of course, to the party. There is pretty much, that is one scenario of how the Hex circulating supply will decrease in the public hands, or user hands, as you might want to talk them. Pretty exciting stuff there. All right. Let's see how we get on. All right. Now let's jump over to Hex Daily Stats. We're on day 953, hot off the press. Probably about 10 minutes ago, hot off the press. 12th of July, can you believe? Already in the second half of the year. It's crazy, isn't it? 12th of July, we've got a price down, 2.2% decrease, which is at least a bit softer at 3.453 is the snapshot of Hex price. We've got a good day in the office for Hex stakers. So if you're staking your T-shares, 6.355. We've got a bit of penalties today. And the T-share rate, $792, which is pretty crazy. All you have to do, if you want to get one T-share, you can divide that by 3 if you do a 10-year stake. So $792 divided by 3 would be $264 for a 10-year T-share at the moment. T-shares are going to get rarer. We see the T-share rate going up by 3 here, almost at 23,000 at 22,946. Average stake length, 6.56 years. And the APY, annual percentage yield rate, which is like a compound interest rate there, interest or inflation plus emergency end state penalties, 39.69%, almost 40%. We almost hit 40 today. Crazy stuff right there. Here's the liquidity in the pool, 204 million, which brings us back to our chart, doesn't it? That brings us back to our chart, 204 million there. And of course, if you think that we could get 600 million in the Maximus 4 staking pools, maybe even more, it shows you how much. That's 900 million there. And of course, we've got 204 million in the liquidity pool. Go figure, go figure. It's pretty powerful stuff, as you can see how powerful the Maximus potential reality could be. Now, obviously, maybe it doesn't get 150 million in the bigger pays better bonus. That is the downside. But we thought we were after 150 million in Maxi, and we ended up getting 294.3. So I think we can be fairly confident. Obviously, not investment advice, but it is very illustrative of potentiality there being realized, I should say. A liquidity pool, 11.3 million US dollars in the pool, and 10,060 ETH. That's pretty much it. Let's jump over. T-shares up 3,000, and we're at 10,430,000 T-shares. Obviously, we used to be over 11 million, but down at 10.4. And even with, as the share rate goes up, it gets harder to get T-shares. So even with all those bumpermentals, people staking, so in the waterfall chart, even with all these bumpermentals, it's getting T-shares is going to be more difficult over time. We do expect that still over time to decline at some stage, so maybe in incremental chunks, as it were. Let's jump through all these other stuff, get to the staking pool. 9.55% of Hex is all staked, and we had 4.7 million in penalties today. Really nice day in the office. In fact, the last 5 out of 6 days has been really, 5 out of 6 days has been really good for penalties. We're going to jump to, this number's incorrect, this one here. I don't know where they're getting that number from, why that's all come up, but that's not right. So we're currently at stakers, 97,776 stakers, up 55 today. Spread the word, keep spreading the word about Hex. And of course, the more you spread the word, the more this becomes true. Right, so where would we say that in this 0.03 here? Spread the word, spread the word about all these good things. Spread the word about Maximus and all that. I mean, they're all eating up the Hex supply, and they're also offering the investor higher yields. It's a win-win. These guys have really done their homework. As I said, it's probably the best thing since Carl the dev, and the share rate and the other people associated with that played out in the Hex stake there. All right, cool. We also got current holders up 19 to 305,539. Woohoo! All right, cool. We're now on day 954, heading up towards 1,000 days. And the base amount per T-share for Hex payment, 6.125 per T-share. So not bad, Not bad at all. All right, that's pretty much it. So nice. Don't forget, there's this giveaway, 150,000 Hex for H Vida Hex in conjunction with Pulsebot, which has got their sacrifice on. 150,000 Hex, give away 50,000 Hex each, 3 different winners. All you have to do is like and retweet this post. It's not much easier than that, is it? The winners will be chosen July the 31st, 2022. This community is the sickest. Good luck. And of course, there we've got our host there, who was at dinner with Richard Hart in Europe somewhere. So I'm not sure where that was. We're gonna hear from her. Why not? It is a nice giveaway, and they're doing great job. So here we go. Boom.
It's a bit quiet around here. So let's stir it up a bit. I've teamed up with Pulsepot, and we are giving away 150,000 Hex. It will be divided in 3, so each will get 50,000 Hex. So a bit about Pulsepot. Their plan is to adopt as much from the outside world as possible by changing other people's habits, turning them into Pulsechain and Pulsex via Hex for a better life in the near future. That's why I wanted to do a collab with them. So the 3 winners will be chosen by the end of this month, the 31st of July. And yeah, all you have to do is like and retweet, and yeah, good luck. Bye.
Bye. All right. I don't know why I do that, but hey, that's the way it is. So that's cool. I'm going to post that in the chat because, if you guys can win, that'd be great, right? That'd be great. Maybe you'll get into the maxi or something. Let me pull up this thing here. So 150k giveaway, and that's pretty easy to participate. Just like and retweet. Nice. There it is. There, Sandy's laughing. You're laughing at me doing the way. This is the way it is. That's the way it is. All right. Chris P says, Pulse delay doesn't bother me, but I told some of my no corner friends to sacrifice, and they're starting to drop subtle hints about the delay. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's been a while, and of course we're coming up for a year now on the year on the Pulse on the coming a year on the Pulsechain Sacrifice. So it's been a long time, and people understand that. Richard understands that too. You could see that in his interview on the latest update. He realizes that it's taking a bit of time. Which is this? This is the one here. So this is the update. This is what's coming on with Pulse Conference starting. This is not far away, man. It's like 2 days away, is it? Counting down Mary Ellen, and of course this is coming up there, 14th of July. 15th of July and 16th of July. Obviously, this is an anniversary of since Pulsechain Sacrifice, and so 33 YouTubers and Pulsechain founder Richard Hart. So it's going to be pretty cool. So you can also follow this if you want to read that. Save it to your favorites as well. It's a pretty big deal. KD in the house. Woohoo! Good to see KD. Hex Hodl says people expected a pump, but it's a dump. Says Hex Hodl. Now the guy in the dock who FOMO'd in at the top with all his house money should DCA'd 10 times. Says Hex Hodl. And allow, yeah. All right, so here is the timeline for the Pulse conference, online Pulse conference with Maddie Ellen, and I'll post that if you want to check out the details. But we're going to quickly go through it. What else there? Big claps from Sandy Beach. 100,000 Hex is great and all, but I'd rather win. Here it says Hex Otto. It's a family show, Hex Otto. It's a family show. What's up, Hexicans? Good to see Tin Top. Way Tin Top. And Pulse Conference in there. That is it with Maddie Ellen. Now, some cool stuff. My highlights, of course, there is the overview. There's going to be tests and skills and demos, some talks with Free Pulse, Pulse Dodge, and Staker app. Keynote, of course, there as well. There's going to be socials. Funding Jim Big Kawatsi. Hey, look, we've got the other two people in now. Motley Investor and Dollar Cost Crypto are going to be there. So there we are. Those are the two people that we're missing. And of course, we've got talks in the morning on the Fridays, day 2. Pulse Gains, Taylor, Fashion Coder, Pulse Hot List. Then we've got talks. This is my favorite one I'm looking forward to. The Maximus, the Hedge On, and the Liquid Loans back to back to back. Bullish around these. So cool. Then we got the panel. RH Max, Gerardo, Jake Sharp in there. So they've got a couple of people in there now. And a crypto GRFX in there. And then, of course, Keynote, Longevity, All Braided Grey, Streamers, Johnny, Chaos, Papa B, Crypto Heartbeat, and Ashley Ash for the social in the evening. So you got the time on the left here. Day 3, you got the personalities in the morning for panel, Orca, Jimro Crypto, Cabana Crypto, Tangent in there. And then, of course, talks, Crypto Coffee, Million Pulse Tour, Wild SJ appears. Thought I'd front run that. Founder panel, 5 levels of loyalty, Richard Hart, and a 5-level guest, and Jack Levin there. That'd be pretty interesting, actually, to see the interaction there with new people. I like that. Founder interview there, Richard Hart and Maddie Allen, Billionaire Genius, and then final keynote there with Richard Hart. So hopefully we'll get some more insights into the Pulsechain from this last session. Hopefully they'll squeeze out some more updates. That's what we like. But I'm sure he's doing his best to get it out there, as he said many times as well. We just have to be patient. Obviously, a lot of people want to get that passive income and all the rest of it. We'll just have to wait till that. There's so many projects building. So some of the positives, obviously, they're upgrading the network code and all that. But the other positives is that we're getting hundreds and hundreds of, by the time it launches, of projects launching. So we're already well over 100 now, probably over maybe 130 or so. And of course, that keeps climbing. So that's one of the positives too. And I think some of the quality of those projects is improving as well as we get more attracted devs in there. So pretty cool. All right, I think that's nice, as we said, nice. Where are we going up to here? We're going back to the charts, I think so. Let's go back to the Hex charts, have a little round up here. And don't forget, if you want to get into Discord, we're heading up to 600 members now. We just hit 550, so we're heading up to 600. And of course, on the YouTube, we're heading up towards 5,000 subs, 4,908 at the moment. And of course, we just on Twitter just hit over 1,600 yesterday, so we're just focusing more on the social media, so that'd be good too. All right, let us get back to the charts. And here is Hex at 3.44 at the moment. We've got Hedron at 723, having a little bit of a move on there. And of course, Maxi there at just under 7 cents. I'll be watching Maxi over the next, obviously we've got the interest rate rises coming up, the inflation results coming, earnings season coming. So we do have to keep into consideration, and the higher correlation to crypto at the moment. But other than that, we've got bullish news for the Hex ecosystem coming out big time. You couldn't ask for better. If you wanted to ask for something good news, even while we wait for Pulsechain, obviously Pulsechain is a Maximus here. That's the one thing I don't have on the waterfall chart is the impact of Pulsechain. Okay, that's not on here. It's not on here. I'll add it for next time. Maybe I'll add it for this afternoon session as well. So if you've got any comments you want to add under this too, leave it in the video description, or hit me up in Discord. Yeah, definitely. I haven't got Pulsechain on here. That's ginormous, right? So I just remember that. So cool. All right. So feeling good. I feel good. I feel pumped. All right, enough of that silliness. All right, so cool. Pulse dodge there at $2.95. Let's see how that gets on. It's actually gone green, so I've got to change the plane. Plane is green. Gunther says no, it's not red. Plane is green. And of course, we've only got 16 days to go. My goodness, for Pulse dodge. I think we're gonna have some fireworks. It's not investment advice, but man, it's looking pumpalicious. That's what I'd say. DB Cooper in the house there. Hey, DB Cooper. When Pulsechain launch, at the front run, DB Cooper on that one. Nice. Hey, we're up to an hour and 15. Can you believe it? And it's currently almost 1:15 here in good old Kiwiland, aka New Zealand. Cool. Let's pull up some hype. Let's get some hype in here. You feeling hyped? I'm feeling hyped. I think so. Let's get into it. Boom. We're going to feel hyped here. Where are we going to get up to? Let's pull in... let's pull in this one. Boom. All right, go.
I think cryptocurrency is one of the few things in the world that could really return power back to the people. Every year you get less and less choice, your money's worth less and less, your hours get longer. It seems like almost everything's getting worse. And crypto is one of the few things that lets you extract yourself from that horror. You can participate in the world's highest performing asset class. You can participate in trustless peer-to-peer revolution in finance where there's no banking hours. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's you and the code. Nobody else can stop you from cashing out. Nobody else can stop you from doing what you want to do. And when you give people the power to create good things, they quite often do. A lot of innovations come from cryptocurrency. There's things you can do in crypto that you can't do anywhere else in the world. And I'm proud to be part of that revolution. So there is no such thing as perfect security. Perfect security, you have a ratio between the amount of effort you put into being secure and the amount of effort that people are using to attack you. And then you have what's called attack surface. The more places that you have to secure, the less secure a thing is. Hex was more easy to secure than a lot of things because it has a limited number of functions, and most of those functions timed out. So for instance, if there was a flaw in the referral program, that doesn't exist anymore. So it doesn't matter. If there was a flaw in the adoption amplifier, it doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't matter. And so by restricting the number of functions and making the code immutable so that it can never change, it allowed us to be extremely secure, which is why we've never had an inflation bug. We're extremely resistant to inflation bugs, but Bitcoin's had several inflation bugs. Monero's had an inflation bug. XLM's had an inflation bug. Ravencoin's had an inflation bug. Coins have inflation bugs, which basically means you can mint as many free coins as you want all the time, but my coin doesn't. It's a superior design. Now, Pulsechain, we're using the most secure software that's out there already, which is Ethereum. It's never had an inflation bug. And we're fixing a lot of things. The code that is Ethereum isn't perfect, and we're making it better than what we got.
All right, that's a little bit of inspiration from Richard there. Nice. Perfect security, deadbolts, and shotguns is DB. Yeah, that's true. Hello, everybody. Good to see James Fond in the house. Very true, but they'll be happy in the next bull run, says Chris B. Well, like I pointed out, some of these fundamentals from Maximus, it's amazing. And we've got Icosa, Maximus, and Power City Flex. Obviously, Hex Investment Trust working out there too, and much more. We've got conferences coming up, Heist Stakes, Pulsechain eventually. Really is pretty damn exciting. What other ecosystem has this stuff, man? That is crazy. What other crypto out there has quite what's coming in for this? It's just unbelievable. And of course, check out hex.com and pulsechain.com if you want to find out all the information there. Very, very cool. Now, I was going to check something else earlier. What was it? The weight token. That's right. We're going to check the weight. Let's check the weight token. Bam. And there we are. So if there is an airdrop for weight token, apparently the Pulse Police have confirmed it's okay with the code. Once again, get on Telegram and go on there and confirm that yourself. I'm just reiterating the comments others have made. So definitely get onto that. But if we hear a weight token here, this is the website. Now, obviously, this is all about Pulsechain taking time. So they've made this project proof of weight. The devs have been on the Magic Carpet ride. So they had, if you want to see the Magic Carpet ride, they cover that. Crypto Coffee's covered the project, but the dev, one of the front PR devs was on Magic Carpet ride. Check out the YouTube channel for that conversation. Seemed like a very nice guy. And I think they said there were a couple people, 6 people, I think, in their team from memory. So all you have to do, if you want to do that, to claim, you can launch. Obviously, the longer you wait, the more weight tokens you will get. There are 8 qualifying sacrifices. If you sacrifice for any of these, Pulse, PulseX, Liquid Loans, Hurricash, Genius, Mintra, Fiat, and IND, then you would qualify for each different address. If you did multiple Genesis addresses for any of these, then you'd obviously have multiple claims, which would give you a pretty good collect amount. So it's pretty exciting. Now, all you have to do is connect your wallet up, and it will go through and check all the oracles on Chainlist and all that sort of stuff, and then go back to the database and then confirm that you can mint your tokens. So that's it. The other thing, of course, is the longer you wait, the more tokens you have. If you do get your tokens now, you're pretty much that's what you'll have. So other people will be getting more weight tokens because they're waiting. Very few people have actually claimed so far because maybe because they're not sure about the contract, because it's to do with their sacrifice addresses, or because they are waiting, because the longer they wait, the more tokens they get. Pretty much that. There's not a lot of liquidity in the contract either. We looked at that earlier. So when we go to the charts, we can check the airdrops here on. We can check the weight price here, and so there it is. So yeah, what I get. Let me get over to the actual chart here. So we've got the liquidity here. Like we said, we've got 9.7 thousand, 8,000, 20,000 here in the USDC one there. So what's that? 38,000 across these 3 pools. So that's pretty much it. So that is pretty much it. So but not only do you get weight tokens, but you get shares as well. The shares are important. You can sell your weight tokens, but you can't sell your shares. And later on, there's a big payday bonus, but it's called the midnight bonus. It's basically everyone that doesn't claim all their weight tokens are going to get thrown into that big midnight bonus. And even if you sell your weight, you'll still get some of that because you can have your shares. So that's the case there. Now, obviously, you can connect your wallet and do that. Or if you don't want to connect your wallet, you just want to see how much weight you've got, you can click the demo site on the right there. And, of course, you'll be able to just paste in your address. You don't have to connect to any MetaMask, so you're not putting any security issues in play. You can just paste your address and check the database. So it's pretty easy. I like that feature. I wish they all like that, to be honest. So there we are. We've got PulseX. Let's just get a random address on PulseX, and you can see how easy this is. So people obviously sacrifice PulseX here. We're going to go through and pick up. Let's get a really high number. Let's get number 40 and copy this address and take that over and paste it in and see what this address is eligible for. PulseX. So the only one the sacrifice is sacrificed for is PulseX. So you're going to get 3,336 weight tokens. Obviously, the price of weight is pretty modest at the moment, just over half a cent. So that's not a lot at this stage. So let's go 0.00554, say, and we'll multiply that by the amount 3336. 3336. So that's worth $18 at the moment. $18. Now, obviously, if this person had sacrificed for all these different ones, that'd have quite a bit of weight there. So maybe it might be $150 or something if they did all of everything. The Pulse is the biggest one there, so it's pretty cool. The other thing, of course, is that there's more information on the white paper. So you definitely want to check out the white paper if you are looking at that. So quite a few people have been talking about this project, so that's why I'm talking about it more or less. That might be cool. Now there is an Easter egg as well in here that you might want to get aware of. This is the white paper, so I'm going to paste that in the chat. OX says, can people still claim Hedron even if they miss the 100 day? Yes, you can with your Hex stake. You just get the base amount though, OX, on the Hedron site. I'll post that in a second. I think Hex will find its bottom day 987, third day, and then rockets from there. Hey, nice to see. I like that. I'll have a look at that myself. That's pretty cool. Thanks for the insights there. Boom. There is the white paper. So you can check that out, but I definitely, should do all your normal checks, right? Investment due diligence. Now there's, we've got over 100 YouTubers in the space. Don't just believe a YouTuber. Obviously, some YouTubers do their homework. Some YouTubers don't know much about crypto at all, but they're YouTubers. Anyone can YouTube. But there's varying levels, and of course, each project's different. Each project, you have to have different knowledge base for each project. So, it really is upon yourself to do your own investment due diligence in crypto. Obviously, watching YouTubers helps you get a lot of information gathering, but ultimately, you should read the white papers. You should check this. Anyone that's done dev checking, like software checking, like Pulse Police and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like you need to do, educate yourself and cover the security base as well. So it's important to pick that stuff up. All right, launch supply, 881 million weight is the launch supply on the 5th of July, but every hour it goes up by 1 weight. So every hour, for every sacrifice, for every wallet, it's going up by 1 weight. So it's a pretty big deal there. Eligible to claim, 195,000 wallets eligible to claim. Like I say, many people out there with Genesis wallets. I do that strategy as well. I sacrifice on multiple wallets. And of course, sometimes with very little amount just to get the Genesis wallet. And of course, it pays off when you have things like this, right? Obviously, you've got to sacrifice for one of those sacrifices, but you can do cheapest chip sacrifice for these things to pick up Genesis wallets. We did talk about that during Pulsechain Pulsex. We were talking about that strategy, people picking up that. So if you did that, it's paying off already. Daily inflation, 4.7 million, assuming people haven't claimed. Obviously, it's only a small amount of people have claimed so far. So if we actually go to the contract on here, we can only see only 26 million has been claimed so far. And of course, the contract here says 880 million at the beginning. So that's obviously going up by a lot, probably, I don't know, let's say 4.5 million a day at the moment. So until Pulsechain launches, so the supply could get pretty big. But remember, the shares are different. So the shares you get to keep. This was the starting amount on the 5th. Pulse Hex, all that sort of stuff. So you can see the amount that you would get if you sacrificed per wallet. That's the amount of addresses that were eligible. And of course, you say 995. So if you actually sacrifice all of them, you get 23,000. Plus, obviously, if you wait, you're getting paid 1 weight more each day for each of them. And of course, so the supply will be greater than 80 million, presumably. Whatever doesn't get claimed gets put into the midnight bonus. And of course, that's based on shares that you have, which you cannot sell and you cannot lose. So that's pretty cool. There was also going to be, what else is going to be? We talked about the midnight bonus. Remember that 1 weight also equals 1 share of midnight bonus, right? So that's cool. Definitely read all that. What else we got going on there? Lots of game theory. Obviously, the more people that claim, the less that will 50% of the midnight bonus goes to the timekeeper. So the more people that claim, the less that the timekeeper will get. And it's kind of like some sort of OA type of thing. And the value creation here in the future, they're teasing here. They don't say much about it, but they kind of infer that there will be more product developments. And I think on the Magic Carpet Ride team, the developer was talking about more products coming down the line. And they want to be innovative. They want to do products that you haven't seen before, which we love. We love that when they do that. There's a little Easter egg about that there. So certainly think. But anyway, read the full paper. Read the full paper there. When you interact with that contract, by the way, when you check, this is the process that it's following. And once again, check with Pulse. Was it the Pulse Police on Telegram? And it's probably, if you're going to interact with a lot of these contracts, it's probably good to get at least Pulse Police checking, doing the dev type of check there. It's a good way of just increasing your safety on crypto as well. So there we are. They're going to KYC with themselves apparently to some degree. 7th of July it says. I don't know whether they've actually done that, so maybe we'll check Twitter for that. And then here they've got Pulse Police there on that as well. But like I say, the dev came across very nicely on Magic Carpet Ride. interview. But then again, that doesn't mean that that you're safe with that. It just means that they're nice. They sound nice, but they could be nice, right? They could be nice. It's more likely they're nice, but we can't. As crypto and the big wide world internet, of course, we must be hyper skeptical. Is the best way to be in crypto. So this is the development team, Coast OX here on Twitter. You can see different stuff here. I'm not sure whether they've done any KYC. They were kind of talking it down a little bit there on Matic Upride, but looks like they're going to be going live here on a channel, going live in 25 minutes. What channel are they going on? Matic Allen. So it looks like they're going to be on Matic Allen here. So if you want to catch up with the weight token of Matic Allen, probably a good place to finish. We're an hour and 30, and I'll be back on live in about how long? 5 hours? Yeah, about 5 hours, maybe 4.5 hours from now. But in the meantime, they're going to be live on Matic Allen. So if you are wanting to claim, probably a good idea to check that out now. Cool. All right, let me just post that.
Just seeing if you're eligible or not.
Let me just post that video so you can jump over there, do a little Hex Token raid. How about that? That's probably worth doing it. So jump along. White papers are so racist. Where's the diversity, says DB? Well, there are black papers, DB Cooper. There are black papers. I just got here. Please start over, says Briz. Lol. Yeah. Everyone's going to... Let's go do a little raid over on Matic Allen's channel. But there we are. Cool. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Catch you later in about 5 hours' time. Bye for now. Woo, I'm going to play out some funky music on the way out, though. Let's go, says KD. Absolutely. Let's play out some funky music. Bye for now. Take care. Power City Core. We're rocking it out.